shopping cart.
Get fucked.
Get back here! The shopping cart is not done with you. Dude, the Focus is just gonna let it go.
They're like, hey, what the fuck? What's going on here? So they walked right past the impact. They obviously didn't see shit.
You're fine.
Yeah, it was a shopping cart with 4 casters on it. It'll live. I mean,
Or as they call it, a shopping trolley.
a trolley.
It is a trolley.
Fetch a trolley. Oh, well, contact was made.
I thought they were gonna take off.
What the fuck were you pointing at?
A sign? Like, lady, you backed into me.
This says I can back up right here. No, it fucking doesn't.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 226 of the Camcast.
Woohoo!
Woohoo,
Yay.
indeed.
I'm apparently the only one excited for that.
I mean,
Yeah! Woo! Woo!
there we go.
Was that the enthusiasm you wanted?
Rip headphone users.
Yeah, we probably just lost all of our user base right after that.
Oh, it's okay. We lost them long ago. We're just doing this for us.
Hey.
Anyway, I am Mike, dear leader, Doc Taste, leader of men, herder of cats, cheerful nihilist. And I am joined... Oh, it's a bottle cap. I thought I had something else in here.
If you say as always.
I am joined, like 99% of the time.
Hey.
There we go.
Hey.
Because I did miss you guys on Tuesday.
Yes, you did.
Wait, hold on. I've been here since I've started. I've been here more times than Dave has. Dave has now missed 1.5 times.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry
that's
to
right.
throw you into the bus like that, but
No, that's right. I mean, I have missed like 3 or 4 like
And-
on location recordings.
And
Yeah.
granted, both times that you've missed the basement, you were on your way here. Because the last time you were coming back from Vegas or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
So I guess can I be as always now?
I mean,
Still that shit for me, Dave. I'm still in it. I'm coming for you, Dave.
he has a longer track record than you do.
Fine then, shit. Whatever.
I mean, if you really want it, you're going to have to make a claim.
No.
A little bit better than that.
I'm done. I'm sorry. I don't want to infringe on Dave's God-given right as a male.
Okay, that's an interesting place to land, but I'm glad you finally landed the plane.
Mine is bigger.
I ain't pulling out in this basement.
You ain't pulling out regardless.
You don't know me.
Jesus, tap dancing Christ. You remind our Uncle Radical, the professor of the ghetto arts, tenured but not licensed and possibly on a list in several states after that little shenanigan.
Connecticut will never have my business.
Well, fuck them. It's a tax
Exactly.
haven that has declared itself a state.
Yep. I'm taking my wares to Montana.
Hopefully
you
there's
go
someone
there?
who'll call him daddy, but nobody down here is doing that. It is Dave Raleigh.
Ahoy, hoy.
And, as always, the end of the table.
Feels weird.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. It like, kind
Brought
of
this
stings a
upon
little bit.
yourself.
Yeah, change is weird like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is the good Colonel Eddie Dean himself, the man who doesn't know how to deal with change like we do. Because we drink a lot. Yeah, there you go.
I cannot wait to give him just all the liquor.
After an outing like that, we're not sure how the good Colonel Eddie Dean, the chairman of the board, Zach Lords, will survive SEMA.
Present?
Attaboy. I was really hoping you were going to say, I'm going to thrive.
Yeah, I'm going to thrive.
Yeah, but no, you're not.
You know what? Maybe I'm just like going to stop drinking now. I'll just phone drinking SEMA.
I think that might be a bad move for you.
Maybe worse than actually drinking.
Jesus. I mean,
I'm going to wake up to one of you guys like pouring alcohol down my throat.
listen, the first few SEMAs I did, blind stinking sober. With a bunch of people who were all about the party. I'm not gonna lie. It is a bad move. Because,
I guess I'm not driving, so it doesn't even matter if I'm drunk the whole time.
I mean,
I just have to hold a camera.
you damn well better be sober while you're holding the camera. I mean, they will throw your ass out if you're just, like, wandering around drunk. Attaboy. Jesus. Anyway, follow our cheeky shenanigans on the social medias. Instagram, Facebook, we are at CamAutoMag on those platforms. Get this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. Like, rate, review, subscribe, so on and so forth.
Bonus points if you're from Australia.
Yeah. You wacky upside down people.
Yeah, I mean, if this podcast actually gets to Australia.
I do believe it does.
Coming to see you folks.
Yeah. Support us
the
on
tour.
Yeah. God.
Worldwide tour.
Yeah, the Cam Automag Global, the Camcast Global Tour.
Yes, please.
One day.
The what the fuck do you think we're doing here tour?
It's going to be at like Kelby's Court equivalent to the rest of the world. There's going to be like 4 guys there.
Just some dude who's just like, yeah, I got an office.
I mean, I'd be down with that.
We're doing like some dude's bait. We're doing it. Okay, we you can host us, but it has to be in your basement.
If you live in a flat, the dining room will suffice just fine.
I'm not sure how I feel about going to another country and going into some stranger's basement.
What we'll do is we'll find a way to ship the table, and we'll bring it on location everywhere we go.
Absolutely not. Jesus.
I
feel like that's a logistical nightmare.
Bands ship bigger things than tables.
Yeah, but they're also bands.
How are we going to do a world tour if we can't ship a table?
Most podcasts who go on do stuff in other countries.
It's fine. They bring 1 or 2 Pelican cases.
Yeah, they're not shipping a fucking table. Well, they're not shipping 32 square feet of table. I mean,
what do you think it is cubed? It's probably 3 feet tall.
I mean,
so
I'm not shipping it with the legs on. Are you kidding me? That is just a recipe for disaster. We're going to secure the legs up under the table. They will fit snugly up there.
We're thinking about this way too much, and I love it.
This is where we're at. If you want to help us figure out the logistics of shipping a table to Australia,
Dave is fucking done with us.
You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/camautomag.
Actually, no, I think we could probably have it done for about $350.
I think it might be cheaper to just have somebody in Australia build us another table.
But the problem is, this is our table. We can't have other people owning our table. Granted, it's just 2x4 and MDF, but still.
Well, that's why we burn the other table.
Yeah, okay,
as soon as we're done, one of us slams the other through the table, WWE style, and we light the bitch on fire.
Okay, here's the deal. We just need to take small squares from wherever we're at, right? So, it could be bamboo in Japan, or it could be, particle board in Australia. I don't know if they even have particle board out there. Fuck it. I don't care.
Could be a Hungry Jack's box.
I'm okay with Hungry Jack.
Yeah.
Anywho, then we bring the pieces back, and we make the table
out of the worldwide tour.
There we go. We figured it out.
I'll bring back a CRT TV from every country we go to. Then we'll
ship those.
We'll finally make the CRT wall that we've wanted to.
There's just 3 that just don't work. They're PAL. We can't make it work.
Ah, fuck, you're right. PAL versus NTSC.
I enjoy the idea of the table being christened. Other people can have a table like ours, but we christen it when we sit down at it. It has been blessed by us.
So when we go to Australia, we just gotta bash a
Mike's
Foster's or something like that over it, right?
No, something good.
Okay, well,
Mike's?
Fuck, I'm not Australian. I don't know what's a good
all I know
out there.
All I know is they think
Google
Foster's is trash. That is all I can gather.
Australian beer.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Damn it! That's a fucking chicken drumstick.
How about? Oh God, I can't. A Carlton or a Victoria bitter.
VB.
Yeah, VB. I can't.
Yeah, fuck it. We'll just slam a. We'll just throw a slab of VB on the table. See if we can put a hole in it.
Torhe's extra dry.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you to stop right now. This bit's dead.
Just going to take you to the panel beaters, buddy.
There's just some ale. There's just ale.
Thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Google.
Anyway, back to how you can give us money after this fucking rousing outing. Just
fuck, that's almost 10 minutes.
Everybody, don't throw your wallets at the screen all at once. Go head over to patreon.com/camautomag. That's where you go to support this.
Sorry.
Make this better.
Or just
giving
throw,
us your money.
or just throw money at it.
Just hire an actual audio engineer. That's what you guys need to make this better.
At this,
Somebody that doesn't say a goddamn thing just sits there and turns knobs.
I mean, at this point, we could listen. At this point, if we get enough money, we could hire like proper hosts and everything, and then just be like, "Yeah, we're done."
We'll just be team managers.
Exactly. We'll just
show up drunk and then be like, no,
You're doing it wrong.
do it like this.
No. Okay,
I enjoy the idea of
Listen, Linda, listen.
hiring us people. Hire people that are to imitate us, so we have to coach them.
Like that episode of The Simpsons where Bart becomes Mr. Burns' heir.
Yes.
Poe. Excuse me, Bartholomew. Poe! The line is, give me that. Doe!
Why is that so funny?
Because
it played through my mind with
you saw the scene.
Yes.
Uh,
But it was your voice.
whenever Trent gets here,
We
I'm
miss
sure
you,
he
Trent.
will appreciate it.
One day.
Anyway, back to the thing where you give us money. Patreon.com/CamAutomag. It's where you go to give us money on a monthly basis and support us for as little as $1 a month or up to $15,000. However, best bang for your buck is going to be the $5 shenanigans level. Get you access to the Shenanigans Super Secret Shitposting Group. Get you access to this here podcast, the Thursday episode, a day early.
Oh,
Indeed. Bonus content and a whole bunch of other stuff. And for everybody who's still waiting on stickers, I'm ordering them this week. So, yeah, they're going to not be the die-cut stuff that I usually get from Stucky. It's going to be like an actual proper slap. So, a lot easier to put on.
excellent.
Indeed. Also, probably multiple colors, too, not just red.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Because the Cadillac definitely is going to need a sticker at some point.
A lot of people who need stickers. Anyway, that is patreon.com/camautomag. It's where you go to support us. So, Dave? Do you have anybody you want to shout out in particular?
All of the faithful Cam Automag listeners.
There you go.
Big shout out to you guys.
Beautiful.
You had to think about that for a second, which...
Anyway, I appreciate that, Dave.
With listeners like you, we can continue to bring these adorable shenanigans to you twice weekly.
What's the PBS one? It's
Viewers like you.
A contributions from viewers like you.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Contributions from listeners like you.
Right.
Hoo boy. All right. Well, we don't have any responses necessarily, but we do have AJ Glassmacher. He sent in
Ooh, more on Vanta Black.
the super long version of Vanta Black.
This is going to be good.
This is referring to the X6, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
S6.
The X6 that BMW coated with Vanta Black.
Which is dumb.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so let's just try to, because AJ, I've got to be perfectly honest, I just saw that you sent this in and I flagged it, so here we are.
Oh boy.
Didn't really proofread this or anything.
Okay,
but
well,
let's get to it.
do you want to do it? You want me to do it?
I'll take a paragraph and you can take a paragraph.
I like it.
I like how I don't have to read here. It's awesome.
Well, you can't.
Wow! Asshole!
I mean, you're like, what, millennial, Gen Z, whatever the fuck they're calling you?
God damn.
Zoomers? I don't know what the fuck
I'm
you
a
guys
bit
are.
of a nerd. Fucking shit. Like,
You
we
know,
really need to get this table, finalized. Brandon, we need to get you over here to get this table finalized so we can, get Zach's mic arm
here's the thing.
firmly planted on the table.
If Zach could just stop fucking with the mic arm, it wouldn't continually fall off the table.
Also, I would like to get some beef here.
You have got to be kidding me. Did that really just shoot a fucking spring off? You're kidding.
No, we're not kidding. The clamp that normally holds Zach's mic on the table fell off the bottom. That horrific sound you just heard, Rip headphones users, was him turning his mic back on.
Well, so that fell off, and the microphone fell at the exact same time.
Oh my Jesus.
So I was going to read this to prove to Dave that I know English, but apparently God said no.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Oh.
Why aren't... See, if you guys were to pay... How short are we? What, $12 right now?
Like $20.
For $20, you could have just saw that.
Listen, you get us in the neighborhood of 200, I don't give a shit at this point. We'll call it good. We'll get another webcam.
Yep.
We'll make this shit happen.
It's true. I mean, guys, I've got a computer.
Bring
Just
it.
got to bring it over.
Bring
Yeah,
it.
please bring it next week.
Yeah, I'll do that.
There we go.
I will do that. Do you
All
want me
right.
to load Windows on it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
We'll figure that.
I'll just drag it over to Zach. Zach can fix it.
Yes. Drag it over to Zach, dump it, and hopefully he doesn't forget about it like he did the laptop I gave
Oh,
him.
I have a laptop of yours still.
Yeah, you do.
Where's that charger?
I don't-
Oh, so that charger went from the Mustang to the Corolla, and then it's now in the back of the Subaru, I think.
Okay, well,
If not, let's go buy you a new charger. It's not a
okay.
huge deal.
Well, anyway, I'd like to get the charger and the laptop back.
Okay.
Anyway,
I've had it for so long I've sold 2 of the cars.
shit.
Jerry, you mind if we get back to the task at hand?
All right, from AJ Glossmacher, more on Vanta Black's super long version. I'm a bit of a nerd, and I just wanted to share a little bit more about how cool Vanta Black is. Basically, the Vanta Black material is made up of a bunch of vertically aligned carbon nanotubes. When light hits these tubes, it is reflected into the tubes and bounced around the inside until it is dissipated and absorbed and turned into heat.
Oh my god.
Indeed.
For those who don't know, your eyes work like a camera.
Lies.
Light in the environment is either generated or enters the environment from an outside source. For example, the sun.
Other example, Pornhub.
And bounces off every reflective surface and then bounces into your eyes where it hits a membrane on the back of your eye and is turned into electrical signals that your brain can turn into a picture.
Ooh.
The reason you can see in 3D is because you are receiving 2 different angles, if only off by a few degrees. But it's enough for you to receive 2 different angles of the light that bounce off an object.
What does it mean when I see music? Vanta Black doesn't reflect light, so you are basically looking at the absence of light. You are looking at a light vacuum. For all intents and purposes, according to your brain, nothing exists there because there is no light to perceive.
It is also incredibly thermally stable and has increased resistance to mechanical vibrations. What that boils down to is it is very good at trapping and reflecting heat, so applications where solar heating is
Sure.
So applications where solar heating is used are more efficient. An example of that is you were to paint. Wow.
Is if you were...
An example of that is if you were to paint the inside of a swimming pool with Vanta Black, in a matter of minutes, the water in the pool would be flash boiled and vaporized.
Ooh.
A building at the North Pole coated with Vanta Black could theoretically generate enough heat to heat the inside of the building without use of HVAC in the dead of night. Imagine that on a space station or a Mars colony. Hundreds of thousands of kilowatts worth of heat generated by the stray light of stars.
They also have a version with randomly aligned carbon nanotubes that absorb infrared light that has numerous military applications and would be untraceable by night vision or thermal sensors.
Anyway, TLDR, that means too long didn't read, is that it's a really cool invention.
Thank you, AJ.
This has been another reading on the Discovery Channel.
Indeed. Well, if you have anything you want to send us, mailbag at camautomag.com.
Wow.
Indeed.
Wait, there's a button for that.
Wow.
There it is.
I fixed my microphone, by the way.
Good.
I can use English words now.
I mean, you...
can English.
Oh, well,
It's impossible.
before we get to Zach Englishing and dudes meeting up in the Applebee's parking lot,
God, what?
we got to remind you that another way to support us is to head over to CamAutoswag.com and fill your cart full of your official Cam merchandise.
You damn right.
Yep.
I've got a hat. I've got a T-shirt as well. You
Yep.
can too.
If I get some cam swag, will the girls like me more?
Yes.
Yep. Guaranteed to get your dick wet.
11 out of 10.
Yep.
Yep.
Is there a guarantee behind that?
No.
I mean, not a legally actionable guarantee. Anyway, CamAutoswag.com. Go ahead and get yourself a hoodie and a beanie because we got fall coming up, and that is the perfect go-to.
It's right around the corner, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You should definitely start looking good and being comfortable at the same time.
Oh, yes.
Check it out. And, we've got tote bags.
Yep.
You guys are going back to school, right? Hauling some books around. Make it look good.
Going and getting the produce of the season.
Exactly. Even better.
Hitting that farmer's market.
You know it.
Oh, yes.
Every Sunday until it starts to snow.
Mm-hmm. There you go. We got you covered. We got every aspect of your life covered.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on to yes. So, NASCAR was
That
at
ad.
Yeah, I know. Fucking
That Korean bullshit.
good job.
It took me a couple tries.
There you go.
There's no place like the neighborhood.
Yep. To get your fucking punk ass beat.
It's true, though.
Yep. So, NASCAR was at the Brickyard
Yep.
this past weekend. Jimmy Johnson did not qualify for their bullshit playoffs,
Of course.
which next week perhaps we will get into how I would fix NASCAR.
I'll probably be right there with you.
Good. I have thoughts.
They will fall upon deaf ears aside from mine.
Fucking hell.
Yep.
Anyway. So Friday practice, Mike Harmon clipped Michael Annette's bumper, ripped it right off. Annette was frustrated, saying that talking the incident over with Harmon was, quote, arguing with an idiot.
God.
And
Okay.
then Harmon hopped on Twitter.
Oh, boy.
I thought it was a good idea.
I apologized as a team, but you took it to a whole new level when a camera's in your face. Come bring your punk ass down to Applebee's on Crawford Road and call me an idiot to my face.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, don't worry, this gets a little bit better because I'm not on Twitter, but Chirp is.
Oh, boy.
And I believe he dumped this in group chat before everybody was going off on getting Vipers.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we were talking about that, weren't we?
And fucking how. I'm just trying to do my job.
Right.
Anyway. Aw, kitty. Come on, Chirp.
Viper.
So-
Viper.
Viper. Vipper. Vipper.
Cobra. Viper.
Porsches.
Anaconda.
Yep. Where are we? Oh, yeah, the Mustang that Trent's stepdad will never, ever let see the light of day, which is a fucking tragedy. Viper truck.
Can you just search it in the...
Stubby Canadian Market Super Duty. So cute.
Platinum.
So cute. I love
It's
it.
adorable. I want one.
Here we go. So. Nope.
Control F. Control F and scroll wheel. Or, sorry, Control and scroll wheel. No, shit.
Nope.
Okay, no, that did the wrong thing.
Hold on. There we go. Maybe. Well, whatever.
Oh, God. I think what we're looking for here is the comment on the bottom.
Yup.
Below that from a guy named Rick Mast. Never, ever invite a man to fight when you're getting ready to eat supper.
Yep. And
Never, ever. From MHR Racing, if my family has spent the money on me that you're spent on you, I would be ashamed to show my face at the racetrack. He said trace track, by the way.
yep.
Only winning only 2 races. Back your mouth up. Gamers Holy Amy.
This is
Mike
great.
Harmon going sicko mode is the greatest moment in the history of our sport.
That's saying something.
MHR Racing, you interviewed one side of the story, NASCAR Xfinity. How about coming and getting mine? Sorry, getting mine.
Getting it.
Bunch of exclamation points. Skyscraper Treehouse.
I love it.
He says, my man, being 30 miles per hour off the pace every weekend, you are never the story unless you F up someone else's race or car.
Damn.
Yeah.
And then some.
AV Geek Michael, I guess is this guy's name. It is just
Yeah.
Dwight saying it's true.
Yeah. Dwight Schrute gif. It's
Yep,
true.
It's true.
Beautiful. So, yeah, there we go. This was
that
fun.
just sounded great. I mean, he got angry and he got tossed
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Fucking getting dragged, buddy.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Sounds like, yeah.
So-
Never start a fight at an Applebee's.
No.
But at the same note, why are NASCAR drivers eating at Applebee's?
Because they're sponsored.
Because they just want to eat good in the neighborhood.
Yeah, we were looking real good out there today in the number 43 Tide car. I got my jeans washed over here by the Tide detergent. It's really great over here.
Got my eyes by Len Crafters.
Yeah, real great eyesight out there today. Sponsored by Len Crafters. I stayed hydrated all day. Sponsored by Gatorade.
The grass is green by Craftsman.
Yeah. I'm going to go over and have myself a nice meal tonight over at the Applebee's, sponsored by Applebee's, eating good in the neighborhood. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to have a lovely time with my wife, sponsored by Trojan.
That whole video's golden.
God damn.
It is great.
He's doing on F1 of just people bitching about everything.
Yeah, that sounds appropriate.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this week's question,
Yeah,
first we must remind you, if you want to get more meat and potatoes on your plate, it means you got to spend less on your clothes.
Right.
Means you got to go to steadybroke.clothing.com or steadybroke.com.
Ooh, yeah. They are steady.broke on all the social medias, steadybroke.com. Check out their online store.
Yep.
It's getting to be a little nippy. And after you buy all that cam swag,
Oh, yeah.
you're going to need to try and get yourself a different set of ladies.
Oh, yes.
Because there's going to be a line of the cute hot blonde ones. Now you need to get you a cute hot brunette.
Mm-hmm.
And how you do that is you go to Steady Broke and you get you a whole bunch of their swag.
Oh, yes.
So are you saying that cam swag is basic blonde?
No, we don't have anything pumpkin spice.
No, we don't. We're
That's what you were inferring, I thought. though.
Moving on.
Okay.
They've got all kinds of great stuff. The most expensive thing in their store is their sweatshirt, their hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
That's only $35.
Oh, yes.
Amazing quality for $35. And if that wasn't good enough, in the coupon code box at checkout, you type in CamAuto15, and that gets you 15% off the entire order. Not just one thing. It doesn't just take care of tax. It gives you 15% off the whole order.
Dave, I find that incredibly hard to believe. Are you lying to me?
I am not, and I can prove it. If
Oh.
you go to steadybroke.com and you do it your damn self, you'll see.
I'm too lazy to do this on my own. I believe you.
That's okay. Those of you that need a little bit of proof, you can go to steadybroke.com. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams.
Steady.broke on all the social medias.
Go get some.
So, am I assuming that this question of the week came from a conversation we had
Yup.
about a week ago?
Yup.
And was this conversation about how I didn't put oil in my car for like 4 months
Yeah.
and then put 4 quarts in it
Yep.
and it stopped knocking?
Yep.
Go figure, a 4.5 quart motor taking 4 quarts and it'd shut the fuck
I
up.
know, right? And yet the oil
Well,
I didn't
slap
come on.
me fucking silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, last
I
week.
bet it was gummed up. Didn't know what the hell oil pressure was. Probably fell the fuck off the motor.
Dude, okay. Well, so I got a continuation of this story on that same car. So I drive an 01 Outback, base model Outback. It's a pile of shit. I think I bought for $300 or $400. I don't give a fuck about it. I bought it to rob the engine out of it for my flat six car, my now flat six car.
Right.
But then ended up just dailing it because it ran and had okay gas mileage.
It actually fucking worked.
Yeah.
Is basically what you're getting at.
Yeah. And so, I'm not going to tell that story because that's a weird story to tell. But recently, the car has been acting really weird. Like, it's like really like unstable.
You don't say.
Like, at highway speeds. Granted, this is also the same car that's missing a running rail. Sorry, it has a running rail attached to one side, and the other side is dangling in the air. Have you seen the running rail?
Yes.
I call it my active arrow.
Fun. So what piece of routine maintenance might be required to fix your issue?
So, on a highway, I could very easily get it into a upset rock that could turn into an oversteer if I didn't catch it soon enough. Like it was really like
So it's really boaty.
really
Is what
really
you're
boaty.
saying. Like the rear end wants to go at any given
Yeah.
moment.
And then one day I'm walking out to my car and I'm like, God damn, those rear tires look really low on air pressure.
Huh.
Okay.
You don't say.
Okay, so we're going to play prices right here. Guess what the rear tire pressure was?
I bet 1 pound, Bob.
1 pound.
I'm going to go with 7.
7, 11, and 16.
Damn.
Actual tire air pressure was 11 and 16.
Shit.
I pumped the switch up to 33.
And
The car is faster. And I like gets
Probably
better
gets
gas mileage.
decent mileage,
Yeah, I got better gas mileage now. I don't feel like I'm going to die when I take an interchange.
there you go.
Yeah.
Don't say.
Yeah. So those are my stories. I have
There you go.
plenty more. I guess I could tell the story, which I won't, if you want me to, of the reason why the Subaru's getting a flat 6 engine. So my legacy, I have my 01 legacy.
I like how we didn't say a goddamn thing. You just paused,
You just-
breathed, and went right on into it.
He knew what to do.
Fuck it, bud. Run with it.
Send it.
It was
Take it
good-
home, bud.
was
Send
good-
it with the spinny gun.
was good- with the spinny gun. I'll use my yeet can on this bitch. It was getting up there in miles, and I noticed the clutch started slipping. And I kept driving. I kept not giving a fuck. It just kept going and going. I guess I could tell the story about my Jeep too. Oh my god, I have so many stories.
Your life is just shit car stories.
No, I'll tell the Jeep one, and that will be the end of it.
Okay.
So the clutch was going, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm just going to push it for another 2 weeks. I got a week out of it. I'm like, do you know what? I'm just going to park it at the end of this week, and we're going to be done with it. I'm going to buy this parts car for my friend. I'm going to put the engine in it. And that week, I started noticing the engine lifter tick was getting louder and more pronounced, and like a deeper tone. And I'm like, oh fuck, is it rod knock? No, it's rod knock. So like, you know what? I'm almost done with it. I'm just going to drive it till the end of the week. And so you remember this.
I do.
It's that last Friday. I'm going to park it, and then it's going to get towed out to get worked on. And I'm pulling into my parking spot at home. It's just making a horrendous knock. I have to basically drop the clutch to get it moving. The clutch was so bad it would slip on the highway. Like if you were to use the cruise control, it would occasionally slip out of cruise control and just slip on the clutch. That's how bad it was. I'm pulling into its final parking spot. I get it up to where it is. Pull the e-brake. Put in neutral. I see the check engine light, the oil light, flash 3 times, and the car just dies.
Nice.
And that was the end of that engine. It ran, I think, 3 more times after that. It was done.
Goodbye, Zach.
Goodbye. Then my Jeep.
Just flashing oil. Like, I love you.
Hey.
Well, I did send out in a bang. I did some donuts with it in Grantsville before it got pulled out.
Yeah.
So it had
You
some
did.
fun.
I mean, it ran until, temperature became a thing.
Yeah.
You mean when oil is cold, it's viscous?
Yeah, it's 40 degrees out in Grantsville.
Yeah.
It's getting pinned off. Those donuts were redlined. It
They
was
had to be. There was no clutch left.
first gear all the way redlined. Okay,
Attaboy.
so the Jeep. I had an 89 Wrangler with a Chevy 350 in it. And it had what I called the James Bond effect. The front seal of the oil pan would leak, and when you would step on it, it would build enough oil pressure that it would blow oil out, fly backwards into the crossover tube for the exhaust, and burn. And it would smoke out anyone behind me.
Huh.
So, as to be said, this thing leaked oil like a sieve.
No.
And one day, I checked the oil basically every couple days because I knew this was an issue, and I didn't want to drop the pan because then you had to lift up the engine. It was something weird to
Yeah.
get the pan out.
Well, I mean, it was in a place it shouldn't have been, so...
Yeah. And so one day I go to check the oil, the dipstick is fucking missing.
Dipstick's just not even
I
there.
don't even know where the fuck it was. Part of me thought the little orange top broke off and the metal's still in there. The other part of me thought I left it on the car and forgot about it and drove away.
That's probably what happened. Let's be honest.
But there's no fucking dipstick in the car. And so I'm like, fuck it. So I think I went and I bought some whatever the thickest oil Walmart sold. Because I was like,
So 1540,
I
maybe
think so.
2050. I don't know.
I think
Can
it
you
might
get
have been
2050 anymore?
I think it was 1540
Okay,
of
so
like some
good
like
diesel
expensive
shit.
shit. I put it in the car. I topped up to what I thought was topped off. Because I didn't want to go buy it. I was broke. I couldn't afford another dipstick. And so one day I'm driving it and I hear it knocking. And so also this is the same day it caught fire. 'Cause I think I told the story about it catching fire.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
So I pull over, I call a friend, he brings me some more oil because I didn't have a fucking dipstick. I kept putting oil in it.
Fucking A.
There's more oil in it, and it worked. It didn't knock anymore. And then I took the car out with some friends to go racing people just up and down Sandy.
Jesus. Why?
And it just wasn't happy. Like, I raced I think it was just like a base model Passat. And it just started knocking, and I kept driving, it. And it got so bad that it was losing compression. Like, I was bringing it home for the last time, and it would die. It would legitimately die at stoplights. I would have to, like left foot brake, but with the clutch, and, like, gas it. And, like, it was awful. I described it as a brick in a washer machine.
God damn.
I mean, that's probably mechanically exactly what was happening between the oil pan and the camshaft.
I'm going to find the audio clip for this while you guys tell your stories.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I will try not to be as intrusive as I normally am.
Just give us a little heads up.
Okay.
Well, Yam, you're usually pretty good about maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, now, for sure.
No, that wasn't always the case, I assume.
So, my Outback, the curb finder in the snowy parking lot.
Damn right. Those 70 series found many a curb.
Give me them balloon tires, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of towards the end. So,
My time has come.
exactly. Alright, I'm gonna head out.
All right. I'm going to head out.
No, so after the failed WRX suspension swap,
Really did the front.
only did the front because we couldn't get the rusted ass bolts off the back.
I mean,
As you do.
To be fair, that was God's Loctite and it was working beautifully.
it was.
Yup.
It was. We don't know where that car came from, but we know sure fucking well where that car ended up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
yeah,
I was
bud.
doing my own oil changes because, I still thought that was a good idea and not a tremendous pain in the ass.
Well, I mean, it was a Subaru. You don't have to. It was an Outback, no less. You could do it all without even jacking the car up.
Well, I mean, I had to with the WRX stuff on there.
Oh, okay.
That was a problem.
Fair point.
Yep. And I couldn't go back to the Outback stuff because when we pulled I think it was the right front spring and shock out, like the top 3 coils of that spring, broke.
Yeah, that's right. They were, gone.
So it was not going back.
No.
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 Yeah, it was one of those just oh my God. One of those moments. So,
Yeah.
so towards the end, I live up the street from an O'Reilly. So it was $15 for 5 quarts and a shitty-ass filter? Sign me up.
Yeah, don't mind if I fucking do.
What's this supposed to take? 5W30? 5W20 works for me.
One of the numbers matched.
0W30? Cool.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You're just mixing and matching.
Yup.
You're pouring canola oil in a place where you should have been putting fucking,
Something.
yeah,
Yeah.
molasses.
There we go. It's
They
whatever.
probably had the tolerances of a 1940s German tank.
I mean, listen, it ran. Fucking got the job done.
I mean, it didn't make very many knock-knock jokes, at least that I recall.
No, it never did.
Surprising.
Oh, and then with my legend. Oh my God, the legend. So much like Zach's
Was the legend the one you cut your teeth on?
legend was the one I cut my teeth on.
Okay.
Okay, can I cut you off now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Jesus. What do we...
Jerry's are up on the hill.
Wow. It sounds like choppers and machine guns in the background.
Fucking hell, dude.
Oh, I forgot about that. There's more video too.
Education.
And I forgot, I'm in a fucking red hoodie in the Jeep in the rain.
That's amazing.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's great.
Bringing war flashbacks to Grandpa right there with those knocks.
Fucking A.
Jesus Christ.
But man, the legend.
So the legend.
Yeah, so that one was I used to have a buddy who had a shop that was all like Honda and Acura stuff,
Right.
you know. And I took it into him one day, and he's just like, "Do you normally keep your tires this low?" And I'm like, "No, why?" Well, they're at like 5 pounds each.
God.
And I'm like, "Oh, well, okay." He's like, "I'll just take care of that for you. By the way, you need to do all this other stuff." I'm like, "Neat."
Oh, I've had 2 minutes when you're done with this.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And then fucking in the first gen Legends, the headlight like stock was notorious for like having a failure in it. So like if you turn the headlights all the way on, the only lights would be the headlights. No dash lights, no tail lights. The fix is to just go find another one
And try it.
in a junkyard and just throw it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't doing that.
Oh.
So I had a roll of electrical tape. I would turn it. There was a fun little sweet spot between just the corner lights and the headlights. I found the spot where the headlights would be on and all the rest of the lights would be on. And I just taped that shit on.
I did that to my Wrangler because the plastic stock broke.
Yeah?
On
Like
the
they
headlight.
all do.
Yeah, and so I duct tape a chopstick to it.
There you go.
Nice.
Yep.
But no, my other story was with my tie rods on my Subaru.
Oh, God.
I was putting a new CV axle in because I wanted to go run autocross, and then what I had was torn. And I'm now just getting all the irony of this story as right now.
Yeah.
So I'm at my shop. I was still working for Rob at the time, and they basically just locked me in. They're like, "Hey, cool, like you're going to be here until midnight. We're going to leave. Just have fun. Just don't die." So like my ride home was my car when I was done working on it. So I pulled the CV out. I got
Bold move.
Yeah. Well, I'm just doing a CV. Like, how hard could that be? And
And you quickly learned why you never ever say that.
those were an awful idea. So, which this is going to get fixed, by the way. I get the CV out, put the new CV in after some trial and error, and also the CVs only go one way. You can't put them in upside down.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, I tried a couple times.
What?
Well, what I mean is like you can't put it in 180. It only goes in because how the splines are.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's got a roll pin that holds it to the transmission.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. Are you thinking I put them in
You're-
this way?
You're confusing Dave really hard right
Okay,
now.
so I get the CV in.
Ow!
Putting it all together.
There's steam coming out of his ears.
And I go to put the tire on because I didn't change the tie rod because why would I?
Why would you? You're replacing CVs, not tie rods.
Yeah, the tie rod
It's
boots
steered in
explode.
here. It's fine.
the boot's torn everywhere. There's like grease leaking out of the ball joint on it. It's fine. So I put it on. And I go to pick the castle nut. It doesn't start. I fucking mushroomed it trying to pound it out.
You fucking
And
rookie.
so I spent like 4 hours like trying to find a tap and dice. I tap it with the wrong fucking set. I then try to die at it was awful. I ended up fucking putting the castle on upside down and then putting the cotter pin to the top of the bolt.
Christ almighty, no.
And it's still on the car.
Yeah.
I drove it like that for another 10,000 miles.
Wait, so it was like that when you were jumping it
Yes.
out into Willa?
I bought tie rods.
No, that's not.
And so I remember
Yeah, there it is.
going up the canyon one time and realizing my steering felt weird. So I get underneath my car and I can jiggle the tie rod up and down in the fucking hub.
Oh my God.
And so I'm like, cool, I have like $40 left. I'm just going to go get a new tie rod and put it in. I get to the bottom of the canyon and I'm like, yeah, that shit's too hard. And I didn't fucking do it.
That shit's too hard.
I will send a photo. I will post it in Cam Proper of when I do the tie rod.
Oh
'cause
my
it's still
God.
like that.
This
Dave
is great.
Dave is regretting all of our friendship.
Oh, man.
And why do people bring their cars to me?
No.
Huh.
Man.
I mean, I'm not going
And the
to.
best part too is I took that car to autocross like that because I did the CV so I could take it to autocross. Oh, okay, I'm done.
Okay.
Why do I own cars?
Apparently, there is a amazing tech
They-
at these
At
these
the
autocross
SCCA
events.
autocross. Oh boy.
I mean, I know a lot of these places say, "Hey, if your car will pass a state safety inspection, it's good." And we just got rid of the state safety inspection, so
So there's just some fucking dude out there at a festiva just yeet all over the course.
yeah, just yeeting around with electrical tape, fucking bump stops and shit. I guess
God.
I don't know. Wow,
Picks up in one wheel.
Wow.
Did you just learn a lot about me, Dave?
more than I care to admit.
Wow.
I'm done telling stories here.
Damn.
Oh boy. I mean, I'm not going to, remove myself from this because I've
No.
done equally damaging, dumb things.
Well,
You were-
the unfortunate part is, like, you don't want to outdo me here. But I hope you do, because
Okay.
I want to hear stories.
Here's the thing. I used to be known as the original ghetto bastard.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, back in the Honda days. Right? I mean, that's what we called my Integra, was the ghetto bastard. Mm-hmm. Because at the time, B20s were called bastard swaps.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to put just a straight CRV motor in their Integra. That was dumb. Well, I bought mine that way, so fuck all of you. But that's beside the point. No, I actually never really did any janky shit to that car. But, no, my daily, my 97 Ram 1500,
Oh.
I bought it sight unseen for $600 and then promptly got it impounded and had to pay another $500 to get it out.
Hot damn. I also remember the CRX with the sedan
Oh
exhaust.
my god, the CRX. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, okay, so I'll tell you about this one then. It was a 91 CRX SI shell, rolling shell.
Okay.
Right? Buddy of mine bought it because it had a bolt-in roll cage that he wanted for his CRX. And he wanted a couple other, like, tiny interior pieces that were there that weren't on his car, right? Whatever, right? So he bought it. It was from some guy in, like, the middle of fucking nowhere, Nevada, right? And so he bought it for, like, $300, right? Pulled the cage out of it, got all the other stuff he wanted off of it, right? And he was like, okay, well, I don't want to junk this because it's still got some cool stuff on it, right? And like, so do you want it? So I gave him like $150 for it, right? It had like the nice like KYB chocks, and it had like the actual brand name ground control coil sleeves,
Oh.
right? So the suspension was actually okay. Still had the SI sway bars on it, right? At one point in time, this car had a legit Mugen body kit molded into it.
Ooh.
That kit is long fucking gone, and all it has is this jagged edge of Bondo and paint all across the car, right? No front bumper, no rear bumper, no fenders, right? So I had two mismatched fenders. One was unpainted, the other one I think was rattle can black. I found a black CRX rear bumper in the junkyard, slammed that on. Front bumper I bought from some guy in North Ogden for like $30. It was a black CRX front bumper. I had one CRX corner light, but I could not find the passenger side CRX corner light.
What is it with Hondas and corner lights?
Yeah, they changed the corner lights on fucking everything.
Yeah.
Right? So I couldn't find a CRX specific corner light, right? Found a four-door. Four-door one plugged in. I went to go attach it to the fender. Entirely wrong shape. Nowhere close. So I just let it dangle by the wiring. It stayed there mostly. Anywho, this car needed an exhaust. So that same sedan I took the corner light from, I was like, oh yeah, Civics and CRXs, they're the same fucking car. This is perfect, right? This will just bolt right on. It'll be great.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Right, exactly. Junkyards that cut them past where the cat is,
Yeah.
So it was already like 4 hangers that was ready to fall out of the car, right? No big deal. I bring it home, not even thinking about it, right? I throw it up under the car and I put it up on all the hangers, right? And I drop the car off the jacks and I get down and I look at it. Exhaust tip sticks 1.5 feet out the back bumper.
God, fucking stinger back there, Dave.
Did not dawn on me until I was done that the sedan has a much larger ass than the Civic or the CRX, right? So I got this little like 1.5-inch pea shoot just sticking out the ass of the car, right? So the interior of the car was heinous, right? The car was originally like that nice, like, Volkswagen guys call it Montana green. It's that nice pearl green that you can see like the later model CRXs came in, right? Yeah. That was the car's original color. Pretty rare color, right? It was painted black at one point, and then it was rattle canned, and then it was like professionally painted red, right? So the car is like red, Bondo, and then this green underneath everything else, right? With all the black bits, right? Mike Fallon, one of the OGs up north, he called it the watermelon, right? The interior, it was just a dash and aluminum sheets. Not even aluminum. I think it was tin. Might have just been tin. Just flat sheets for door panels. Right? And I put some shitty buckets in it, and I had an SI EK cluster in it, or EM1 SI cluster. Yeah, so I did that, Motor was like a 8-valve D15 from like a Civic HF.
Ooh.
So it made like a whole 40 horsepower DX trans. So I couldn't do freeway speeds in fifth. It would slow down at wide open throttle. Got 58 miles to the gallon, though.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that car was held together with, like, zip ties and shit. My favorite part of that car, though, was, like, it had a carbon fiber hood on it. But all of the gel coat and resin was gone.
Oh, just carbon then?
It was literally just carbon weave with, like, the fiberglass structure underneath on the bottom.
Oh.
And my signature was, like, jumping on that car's hood and, like, jumping up and down, and it would just hit the valve cover and just bounce back every time, right? That thing was a piece of shit. But no, my Dodge, the thing I drove here, right? It pops out of first gear. It's a stick, right? 250,000 miles on it. Pops out of first gear sometimes. And I can tell when it's going to do that. So I'll put it in gear, and it's like tough to put in first. And I'll start letting the clutch out, and as it starts to move, the stick will wiggle back and forth like a synchro's like halfway engaged, right?
Well, I think maybe I'll get it. I think I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, if I just like shove like my body weight up onto the shifter, most of the time it like seats the synchro. Sometimes it doesn't, and it just makes this god awful like cannon bang, and it's in neutral.
Well,
and I just shove it back into first and drive, right?
There you go.
I broke a U-joint on the front axle. The front right U-joint is just like falling apart inside the hub, inside the knuckle. It's just jingling around, right? So when I'm doing, anything less than 35 miles an hour or anything more than 2 miles an hour, it makes this god-awful jingling racket that sounds like an engine's coming apart. Speaking of engines coming apart, this thing leaks oil like a mad cunt.
Okay.
When I bought it, after I got it out of the tow yard and shit like that, right, I threw a rear axle in it. The pinion nut backed off on the original axle, and the ring gear ate the pinion. So the whole rear end locked up. It was bad. It was a mess. We actually broke chunks off of the diff case. Ugh. It's a beefy rear end. But anywho, I threw a new rear axle in it. We threw new brakes on it. The brake lines were falling apart as we were trying to flare the shit, so we've got a whole bunch of like weird brass fittings and bullshit on it that probably should not be there.
A bunch of Home Depot parts on it. Brake lines.
Right at the plumbing section.
Anywho, moving on. DOT. But yeah, this thing leaks oil bad, right? Like I started driving it. First like week or so I drive it. Like I would start it and it would take like 10 or 15 seconds to get oil pressure. So it'd be idling, ticking, and then it would shut up, right? And if I drove it for, if I got it to operating temperature, and I, put the clutch in and put it in neutral or something coming up to a stop, right? And just let it idle, it would catch at a low idle and the oil light would flicker and like the gauge would do that like, I'm telling you something but nothing at the same time. It would flick between 40 and 0 because really it's not telling you anything. It's an idiot light. But anywho. And so it took me like 2 weeks of driving it like that before I thought I should probably just put some oil in it. Just see what's in it.
See what
right?
happens.
Yeah, and so I pulled the dipstick and it's like mud on the bottom.
Oh.
It's just heinous. Pull the dipstick. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's great. Probably leaks from everywhere. I mean, the engine's literally a ball of grease with an air filter on it. So I put like 2 quarts in it and it shut up. It ran great. Put 4,000 miles on the truck and it started doing that again. So I just grabbed a 5-quart jug of 1030 at AutoZone and dumped the whole fucking thing in. Didn't even give a shit. Just filled it up. and it's fine now. I'll probably change the filter in the next month or so.
There you go.
Just let it run. I'm going to wait until that U-joint actually breaks and locks up the fucking front axle, and then I'll put
On the highway and you
the other
slide.
whole fucking front axle in it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I drive that truck from where I live in Mill Creek to like 33rd in the freeway.
Yeah,
It's like a
6 miles.
Dude, if I hit all green lights, I'm at work in 6 minutes.
Yeah. I you remind me of one last story I have.
Oh boy.
It's with that Subaru still too. It's like that. It's a short one too. So get through
Well,
this.
hurry up because we got 40 seconds and we still have to.
We gotta
all this
read.
other shit.
So I bought the Subaru, and like 4 or 5 weeks after I bought it, we took it out to go cruise State Street down from like Sunset Coffee down to the Capitol, basically.
Sure.
And I think Taylor just bought his Fiat, and we're all cruising together, and we're coming up on like the Chinese Gourmet 45th area,
Mm-hmm.
and I end up like trying to race somebody or something, I can't remember, and I misshift. I should have gone first or fourth to third, but I go fourth to second because I thought I had the revs for it.
Money.
And I hear a pop and a bang, and I'm like, I tell myself like I just blew a rod out the side of the block. Like it's making weird sound. It's really loud. All suddenly, like I must have blown a rod out the block. And so like I pull over into the Chinese Gourmet parking lot, and Taylor follows with me, and the rest of the crew keeps going up to the Capitol. And I get out and I have a flashlight. I'm like looking underneath the hood, trying to find like where the hole is. Like there's got to be a hole in the block somewhere. And I'm like, Taylor, there's a hole. There's a hole in my block. I blew my block, Taylor. There's gonna be a hole. And he's like, no, dude, it's your exhaust. Like, no, dude, I heard a pop and a bang, and there's a hole. And he goes, dude, it's your exhaust. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Taylor. It's a fucking hole in my block. And he goes, Zach, shut the fuck up. Get on the fucking ground and look at it. I had broken my exhaust just past my resonator,
Yeah.
and had just fallen. Just fallen.
Way to go, dumbass.
And
Alright.
I drove it like that for 7 months?
Nice.
And up until the point where I had actually like an actual date with a girl.
Ooh.
And I was like, you know what, let's go get it fixed. So Victor hooked me up with a...
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
That's okay. Now it comes full circle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've asked you,
We got
Yes.
some good answers, it looks
Cam
like.
Shenanigans.
yes.
I cannot wait to read Stuckies. It makes me happy.
Oh, yes. And then I didn't mention this in the shenanigans, but whoever has the best Just Ain't Care story, get a Cam shirt.
Nice.
Ooh.
Script logo tee.
Excellent.
Just let me know your size.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So,
Nicholas
to
J.
break the ice.
Stuckington the fourth.
Yep. Esquire. My first car was a Crown Victoria. And for those of you that don't know, it's the Crown Victoria. It was a white one. Had bull horns on the hood.
Yeah, he was
Fucking
telling me about it.
hilarious.
Yeah,
It was amazing. It was an old police car. It was great. So my first car was a Crown Victoria. Yeah, it was rad, but I had some buyer's remorse when I was a 16-year-old kid, realizing I wanted an old FBRX7 or something performance-oriented instead. At some point, I remember changing the oil in the Crown Vic. Dumped all the oil out and realized we didn't have any Costco-sized boxes like we normally do in the garage. Figured, oh well, hop in the car, drove a mile down to the gas station at the bottom of the neighborhood, bone dry. Purchased oil, then drove back home and put it in. It smelled a bit cooked in the valve cover, but never knocked or anything. Just filled it up and abused that car for another 7 years before it got totaled.
No fucking way.
Yup.
I mean, that's an old 5.0 for you.
That's fucking awesome.
That's great.
Brandon McConkey. I never really abused vehicles, but way back my ex and I were so poor that we could only buy disposable cars, $200 or $300, and not fix them if they had an issue. We wouldn't register them and would always had a trash bag inside, so when they broke, we would just put our stuff in a bag and leave the car wherever it was.
What, the international man of mystery at one point in time.
Lived out of a car, basically?
God damn.
They're just dumping cars wherever, apparently.
Jeez.
Oh, and this week's Cam Shenanigans bonus question was, when at a gas station on a road trip, do you buy the local candy they have available?
Oh.
Yeah. For me, it's a hard yes.
I mean, I used to do like jerkies. Like when I was driving to North Dakota or New Mexico, like I would stop at like random gas stations on the way and get like the beef jerky, like the local brands of jerky. And it was pretty cool. It was good. There's some stuff up in Montana and Idaho that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jerkies for sure. Normally not candy, but the sodas.
There's always, yeah.
Well, you got to think most of the candies were basically the same. You
Yeah.
get the same kind of mom and pop. like the lemon drops and like the
Yeah.
gummy
But that's why I like the
worms.
sodas, because they're normally like a little bit different sometimes.
Yeah, the mix is always a little different at
Yeah.
the shop. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Brandon, and shit no to the local candy. I usually find it creepy when gas stations have the weird, non-standard stuff in them.
Okay, well, that's fair.
All right.
Brandon Kuhn. My high school car had a rough life. Well, I wasn't a car guy at the time, so I didn't realize what I was doing to the big girl. She'd go 15,000 miles on an oil change and then get the cheapest oil I could find. The back door kind of worked after I slapped an SUV with it. The paint was so bad, so she never got washed. I learned what happened if you hit reverse at about 25. Stall, no damage, thank God. But she never let me down. In hindsight, I did her dirty, but I had no idea at the time. And I don't even remember what that was. It might have been an S10.
Maybe.
Maybe it was a Tempo.
Those both sound like
Those
things
both
he's
sound
had.
like things he would have had. In high
Yeah.
school. I don't remember. No, it was a Cutlass.
Holy
Oh,
It was
shit.
yeah,
a Cutlass
yeah,
Sierra.
yep.
That's right. Okay. Anywho, makes sense now. As for local candy, sure. Mostly local baked goods because I do love my carbs. That's fair.
Yep. And let's see, Dan Jelinski. Unfortunately, it is probably my current S124 1990 300 TE. It is low on oil pressure, and I know sometime soon it is going to let go. I'm building a new motor for it, and have other cars, so I'm just kind of driving it and not caring. When the M103 fails, in goes the IT-bead M104. As for local candy, that is a yes, always get local things while out and about. I can't wait for my next trip to South Dakota next week. Also, Larry's stupid charged AW11 in your picture is a riot, and I wish I was racing with them in Denver this weekend.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And Dan, that is actually supposed to be a GIF, but for some odd reason, Facebook wouldn't let me upload it as a GIF because that was at the Chump Car race.
Yep.
Where Larry blew the corner,
Yep.
like blew the second attitude, and just like bounced.
Yes.
Yep.
Ah, Mr. A.J. Glassmacher. He's got a novel for us.
Another fucking novel.
Okay. I mean, we'll take it. I'll read it.
Okay.
Got a novel for you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
could go without saying.
Man.
I've been rough with a couple cars, but I've only ever been cruel to one. I received an 88 Trooper from the girlfriend's family that had been rotting away in their side yard. I spent a whole tax return at an unnamed shop in Bountiful only to have them replace a handful of vacuum lines and tell me they couldn't fix it. It ran but never 100%, but I love the damn thing. 4-banger with a 5-speed and a man pedal with working auto-locking front hubs and 4-wheel drive. 2-tone tan and maroon paint with tan interior.
Ooh.
That's why it was so tragic when the oil pump died and she developed a top-end tick as I was pulling into work. I let it sit in the parking lot and worked my shift thinking about possible fixes and whatnot. One 10-hour shift later, I went to leave and the rattle had gone away. I'd made the decision right then that I would go home and change and then run to the parts store for aid. That dream ended quickly when it started having trouble doing 65. I knew that if I'd stopped, it'd seize, and I had a quick moment of thinking I could wedge the gas and crawl onto the hood with a quart of oil I had in the back and pull some Fast and Furious shit and fill it on the fly. I proceeded to blow the number 2 piston out of the side of the block right under the 15 and 80 interchange.
Oh no.
I sent it to scrap and bought the infamous Mazda 929. But I missed the hell out of that thing, and I wish I could have swapped in an S10 V6 or something, which
Yeah.
they did come with. Most of the local candy is too bitter and god-awful chewy for my taste. It almost always winds up tasting like bland gumdrops and flour.
So everybody's saying no to the candy. Here's like a thing that I seem to find like in the Mountain West.
Mm-hmm.
Like chocolate covered like cherry whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of chocolate-covered stuff and trail mixes,
Yeah.
I've noticed.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
like
a lot of local
specific
blends.
But specifically it's like cherry with like a cherry like fluff nougat around it.
Okay, yeah,
Peanuts, chocolate.
Yeah.
That seems to be a thing, like,
That sounds very Idaho.
and like northern Utah, western Colorado.
So, Idaho.
Yeah, pretty much.
Idaho, Wyoming.
It's Idaho territory.
Yeah. But yeah, as soon as you get away from it, no, you can't find that thing. So,
Matt Barker. Holy
oh yeah,
shit.
I don't sin, but when I track my Corrado, it's been a while, I drive it till something breaks.
Well, I mean, it's Volkswagen powered now,
Yep.
so it'll definitely.
And then he gave us some videos that we are going to watch real quick. This one is called Barrel Roll. Oh, Jesus. That is a Loyale. Going down a hill backwards.
Okay.
I wouldn't even have done that. That guy has some balls.
That was, that's ballsy as hell, actually.
Yeah. Okay, backing it up.
Oh, is he going to?
God,
Oh God,
he's
no!
gonna-
Oh,
God.
sweet merciful Jesus.
He's doing this.
It's called barrel roll too. Oh God!
Oh
what's going
God,
on?
this thing is happening right now.
Oh boy.
God, he has enough time to rip second. Holy shit!
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus!
that was
So
awesome.
close. And the
Hey,
next one.
Can we do that with my Outback?
Yes, we can. This one's called Pontiac Missile
And
Silo.
it's only 10 seconds long.
Okay.
All right, let's see this transport. Oh my God!
And away it goes.
It does look like a missile.
Oh my God! It's still going. I like the related video as the regular car reviews of the Pontiac WS6.
Yeah. Matt, I was told I could park the Subaru on the hill a few years ago, and it escalated.
It seems like it escalated quickly.
Yes, it did.
Devin Creasy.
Oh, yes.
Oh boy.
You take the main one, I will take the response.
Okay, sounds good. I bought an $800 93 Impreza wagon that needed a water pump in college. I replaced the water pump and heater core and drove it as is. It ran like crap under load, it was rusty, had plenty of dents, and the frame rail in front of the suspension mounts was bent. I beat the crap out of that EJ18. First time I took a corner hard, the key flew out of the ignition because the tumblers were worn out. To warm it up in the morning, I'd bang rev limiter.
God damn.
Sounds like some Zach level shit right there.
My Datsun didn't have a key, and so I would stall it in like intersections and have to go find like a screwdriver or a knife somewhere in the car to start it. So I know the pain. I know the pain.
I don't think I'd ever change the oil in the year I had it. I smashed through a few snowbanks, took it off-roading a time or two, and other shenanigans.
Man. And he responded to his own comment. I could also talk about my 8.6. When I was 4A GE powered, I was constantly battling oil pressure issues. One day I finally said I didn't care. I took it to a Salt City Drift event. Trent Dortzbach towed me that day, if I recall correctly. Oil pressure kept dropping throughout the day. I kept ripping it. I let Trent take it out for a run. When it came back, it had started to knock. I took it for one last run. Full send. She knocked hard and lost lots of power. Amazing for something that doesn't have lots of power to lose.
Truth.
Rod bearings were toast. I drove it around Ogden a few times, still knocking before I tore it down.
Good God.
Yup.
Johnny Walker. When Grandpa passed away, my kids referred to him as Grandpa Lucky Duck because it was a game they played at his house when visiting.
Aw.
He had a super low miles 92 Lincoln Town Car that no one in the extended family wanted. I didn't need a car, but I couldn't pass up throwing a couple grand at the family and rallying that thing for a few years. You could take that thing hard into any parking lot. Speed bumps, not feel a thing. Always left the key in the ignition and used the door keypad to get in and out. Easiest push to start, right? Caught more air in that car than anything I've owned. Sold it after running out of room. Still some of the funnest memories with a car. And he has a picture of a Utah Greatest Snow on Earth plate that says Lucky Duck.
That's amazing.
Lucky indeed.
And finally,
Pizza Dad.
yep,
Pizza maybe.
pizza whatever.
Yep.
Brand Christiansen. My 2002 Nissan Xterra SC. Loved it because I literally did not give a single fuck about it. I didn't change the oil for 24,000 miles, just chopped it off every now and then, and it never skipped a beat. I took it off-road, I jumped curbs, I drove it in bumper-to-bumper traffic from Provo to Salt Lake City Airport every weekday, and it never let me down. I did put off-road lights on it and wash it regularly, but that was about it.
That's amazing.
That is.
I mean, those VG motors will go forever, too.
Oh, yeah. I've heard, like, so many stories of dudes with, like, straight six Jeeps who are just like, yeah, I would just, like, wait until it stopped leaking oil and then take the filter off, put a new one on, and then just top it up with more oil.
Yeah, that's the thing, is those 4 liters, those big-ass straight sixes.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're leaking oil, that means they still have some in it.
Yeah,
When they stop, you need to worry.
Yeah.
They'll run upside down underwater for decades. Full of sand, it doesn't matter. Those things will just go.
Oh, yes. All right, we got 2 more on the actual cam page.
Excellent.
Let's say from Taylor Roberts. 95 Civic EX Coupe.
Oh, God, don't tell this story. Fuck you, Taylor.
Overfilled.
I have told this story before. Fuck you, Taylor.
Yes, he did.
Fuck you.
Overfilled the oil, as Zach has talked about. Redline daily, flat foot shifting, cut the muffler off of it. Driver window is off the track, and the day I would trade it in, decided to drive it from Sandy to Lehigh and redline the car for about 10 seconds before shifting. Only grinded a gear one time, and it was then when trading it in, thanks to broken Honda shifting, traded it in.
He did
with the
first
muffler
Fiat.
in the trunk. AC didn't work. You could start the car with anything that would turn the ignition. Safe to say, I didn't care for it at all. Well, that's any Honda of that generation.
Well, I remember, we were sitting around, and Taylor goes, we should cut the exhaust off. And we're like, well, we got a chop saw. And that moment of
Done
at
and done.
any point, someone could have said no and we would have stopped. But no one said no. So that shit was straight piped.
Good God, man.
Almost forgot, the VTEC solenoid gasket broke and would shoot the oil all over the engine bay hood, etc. May or may not have driven it down to Provo with the oil light on, would go through a quarter trip, 2 quarts, maybe 3 in the drive to work and home, Sandy to Provo and back. Replaced the solenoid, and I don't think I ever did an oil change on the car, just added more oil.
He did.
Safe to say I didn't care too much about that car. Also could not lock the car due to not having a key.
It got stolen, I think,
Purchased
too.
as it sits. No key, no ignition, no AC, no cruise control. No shit, that thing was stolen. Are you kidding me?
I forgot there's a photo of that thing.
God,
Jesus.
that's a piece of shit.
It really was. We were. I was following him and Jackson's 521 to Tinners, and I was at Surrey,
Yeah.
and he broke down, and so we went back for him. We popped the hood, and everything is covered in oil.
God damn.
all of it. Yep, that was a good time. It was a really good time.
Finally, from Luke Dreyer. Bring us home, Dave.
My first car was a 1970 Chevy Nova. It leaked at least a quart of oil and transmission fluid every other day. I was new to working on stuff and didn't know about dropping oil pans and replacing bad seals. My old man had me keep on dumping fluids in the Nova instead of teaching me to replace a couple of seals that were less than $20 today's cost.
My God in heaven.
Amazing.
All right, now we got to pick a winner.
I kind of like fucking. We keep our trash bags in our car so we can take our shit out of it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he won last week.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Brandon, we love you, but we just can't do it this time.
No.
Honestly, for me, it's between AJ
Uh-huh.
and Taylor for me.
Yeah.
I'm biased here.
I'm leaning towards Taylor just because that's
Let's do it.
fucking ridiculous.
That car had to have survived Taurus levels of abuse.
And I did tell a story of me burning the shit out of myself trying to do it.
That is true.
Yeah.
You did. You this does kind of have some tangential relation to Cam. You're right.
Yep.
Man.
You're right. Well, congratulations, Taylor. You should hit us up and let us know what size shirt you wear.
Yep.
Because that shirt is yours.
It's extra large.
Okay.
Extra large, maybe.
I mean, I wear an XL. I bet we wear the same shirt.
He's a
So-
little bit shorter. He's lost a little bit of weight, too.
Yeah.
All right, then. All right, well, congratulations, Taylor. You've won yourself a shirt.
Hey!
For owning the
Congratulations
shittiest
for
car.
sticking another fucking 18 minutes into this already long podcast.
It's all right. Thankfully, we are at the end.
Indeed.
So thank you, everybody, for your responses. They were awesome. Mm-hmm. We loved hearing your stories. If you have a story and you want to let us know or have a little bit more light to shed on your story, mailbag at camautomag.com.
That's right.
There we go. Follow us on all of the social medias. We are at camautomag on a lot of them.
Yep.
Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/camautomag.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you help us keep doing this.
This, yeah.
Whatever this is.
You can subscribe at any dollar level, 1 to 15 grand.
Mm-hmm.
The big money, like the best bang for the buck, is $5.
Yep.
$5 a month.
There you go,
That
Zach.
gets you into Cam Shenanigans, and that gets us $5 closer to live streaming this bad boy.
Yep, live streaming it for the patrons.
That's it. That's
Yep.
it.
My
We're gonna
microphone.
get all the hardware together. We're gonna get all the software together, and once you guys get all the money together,
We'll make this happen.
this becomes a thing, and it'll only be available on Cam Shenanigans. We might give the regular public a taste, but It's for you patrons.
Yep, it's for the patrons.
It's going to be great.
So there we go.
Check it out. And then you can also check us out, support us directly, CamAutoSwag.com.
Mm-hmm.
Buy our stuff. We've got shirts, hats, bags, all kinds of cool swag. Get a t-shirt like the one Taylor just won.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can look cool like the rest of us.
Yes.
And if you want to look, super stylish and fly and you don't want to spend a lot of coin, hit up Steady Broke Clothing. Steady.broke on all the social medias. They're steadybroke.com. Check out their site. Put all the stuff in a cart that you want. And at checkout, type in CamAuto15 in the coupon code box. Gives you 15% off the whole order. Just because you're broke doesn't mean you can't live your dreams.
Steady Broke.
That's it, guys.
Find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play. Like, rate, review, subscribe.
Tell your friends, tell your captive audiences that they need to subscribe.
Yep. We be drifting this weekend. I'll be out there for a little bit. And then got to go do birthday stuff with the lady.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So,
is it Taryn's birthday next weekend?
not next weekend, next week.
Next week, sorry.
Yeah, so. Anyway.
Merry
so
Christmas, Taryn.
so for episode 226, I've been Mike.
Up and Dave.
I'm Zach.
Woo!
Oh, boy.